Hello, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee here in Appalachia. Today I want to talk to you about something that is probably the most important subject I will ever address. And this subject, I'm bringing it to you with truth and honesty, common sense and integrity. Truth, justice, and the American way. And this subject today comes to you from 2,000 years of English common law and American justice. It is called jury nullification. Get that now, jury nullification. Now, when the judges and prosecutors that are paid public defenders sit around making deals, now you have no power and authority over any of that. And these people consent to that stuff, and they have complete authority in doing what they're doing. But when you get that notice in the mail that they want you to serve on a jury, then it comes your turn. And let me tell you something, folks. Under English common law and American jurisprudence, and no judge or lawyer will ever tell you this. In fact, I think a lawyer can get disbarred for even mentioning the words jury nullification inside a courtroom in front of a jury. So, this is something you must know and carry with you your entire life when you get called into jury duty. When you're sitting there in that docket as a juror, you are more powerful than any human on earth. You're more powerful than the President of the United States. You're more powerful than that judge or that prosecutor. You are in total power. When that judge gives you the instructions on what you're supposed to do in that jury room, he can lay down some rules, but once you walk in that jury room, he has no more authority over you after that. You're in total power, total control. And if that judge tells you how to rule on that case, you can tell him to kiss your grits. Because he cannot tell you, he can tell you how to rule, but after you walk in that jury room, you do not have to follow those judges' instructions. You are the power and authority. The President of the United States can't walk in that room and tell you how to rule. You are the power. The power. And let me tell you something. Jury nullification. You can nullify that case. You can basically say, no, this case should not have been brought to trial, and nullify that entire case. And you also have the power to nullify the law under which that trial was brought to court. You know, if the state legislature passes some kind of funny law that you're not allowed to carry a pocket knife, you can go into that jury room, come out with a ruling that nullifies that case and nullifies that law, that it is no more applicable in your jurisdiction. That is the power you have as a juror on your court. It's unbelievable, but they won't tell you this. They don't want to tell you this. And when you come out and you give your verdict to the court and the judge jumps your case, you can stand up and tell him to kiss your grits again. because he has no right to admonish you for the way you rule. He has no power over you after you give your verdict. He cannot change that verdict. He cannot reverse it. So there you go. You are the most powerful man on the planet when you're sitting on a jury. And let me tell you something. If you're trying a case, please let common sense rule when you're in that jury room. A good movie to watch about this is the original movie 12 Angry Men, starring Henry Fonda and some other great actors back in those days. Russia even made a movie based on 12 Angry Men. There was a more modern version, a color version of that movie made. But none of them were as good as the original with Henry Fonda. It was the best acted, best portrayal of how a juror can act, and how a juror can determine a man's future and a man's livelihood, you know. And as a juror, you are the most powerful. And whatever you do, let common sense rule. Don't let emotion or anything, pictures and stuff like that sway you unless they are evidentiary. And know the difference between evidentiary pictures and pictures being shown to you to affect you emotionally. Use common sense throughout the whole process, and you can ask for any testimony or any evidence to be brought into the jury room to look at. You can basically, and if everybody gets in a hurry and tries to put pressure on you to hurry up and vote with a majority, do it with only your common sense. And if there's no evidence, I'm talking about real evidence, forensic evidence. If there's not any, don't convict. I saw a man go to prison because his son was tired of his father's authority bossing him around, and this boy, 12 years old, got a friend of his from school, and they claimed that his daddy had sexually abused them when they were 10 years old, 2 years earlier. And they went to court. They had no forensic evidence, no film, no audio, no video, nothing proving, no doctor's records, no contemporaneous evidence, no notes were written down, nothing. Just two boys sitting on the stand claiming that his daddy did this, and I guarantee you, those boys were lying. I guarantee you they were lying. And that boy got his daddy sent to prison, and the boy went into the foster home program, and he admitted later he regretted it. He regretted sending his dad to prison, lying about it. And there was also a case where an airline pilot and his wife, and they had a teenage daughter, and she was resentful toward their authority. They wouldn't let her just run around and be wild. And she accused her mother and father of sexually abusing them. Got herself removed from their home. And they almost went to jail. But finally this girl confessed that she was lying and begged her mother and father to take her back, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. They said, no, you go out there in the foster program, you live your life. We're not putting up with this kind of crap, never again. I mean, you betrayed us, and we're not taking you back. And it's sad. And any jury that believes a lie, you have to believe it's a lie if there's no witnesses, no evidence, no forensic evidence, no video, audio, film, or anything, no proof, just one person's word or two persons' words. That's not enough. That's not enough to send a person to prison. Jesus. It's like back in the original days of the founding of America, a great jurist once said, I'd rather let a convict go free is to send an innocent man to prison. And that's what you should think of. And don't forget, jury nullification. You are the ruling authority on that jury. I don't care what a lawyer or the judge tells you. You can look it up. You are the ruling authority when you walk into that jury room, and that verdict you come out with, no judge, no president, no king, no dictator can overturn it. It is a great thing about English common law that's come down to us. It's been developed over 2,000 years and has been adapted into American jurisprudence. You keep that in mind always, that you and you alone are the ruling authority when you walk into that jury room. And you do according to what you feel. If you need to nullify that case, you nullify it. You vote to acquit. If you want to nullify that law, you vote to nullify that law. You get your jury to go along with you and nullify the law and exert your authority. And there ain't a thing a judge can do about it. There's no lawyer, governor, president, nobody can do a thing about it. You are the ruling authority. Don't forget that. When you go in that jury room, you are the most powerful person on earth. And this is your hillbilly historian, bringing you the truth that nobody wants you to know, because they don't want you to know about jury nullification. In fact, the lawyer mentions that he can be disbarred. So you remember that. Always remember that you are the greatest authority on earth when you walk in that jury room. You and those other jurors. So don't forget that. Keep that in mind. And this is your hillbilly historian, bringing you the honest truth that people don't want you to know. And this, from the hills of East Tennessee, truth, justice, and the American way, brought to you with logic and common sense. We'll catch you later, folks.